94 draft.
And he's done nothing but work to get himself back to the big leagues and making his 17th start of the season here for the Cincinnati Reds.
His first pitch of the afternoon is in there for strike one, and we are underway. Timo at 254 with 1 home run and 14 runs batted in last night. He was 1 for 4 at the plate. Jumps on that one deep to right. Guillen back. He's up against the fence, and she's gone. Just like that, 1-0 the Mets. A leadoff homer for Timo Perez. That might be the single greatest indication we need that the ball is going to be flying at Great American today.
Well, Perez gets his second home run of the year. He's not noted for the fact that he has home run power, but every once in a while he can put a jolt into the ball, and he did right there. And the Mets are off on top. Last night's ball game, they didn't have a base hit until the 7th inning.
Did not score until that 7th inning and won the game 6-2, leading here 1-0. Joe McEwing stands in, so a good start for the Mets against Paul Wilson, who has battled an assortment of injuries throughout his career. Of course, the most devastating was Tommy John surgery that forced him to miss all of '99.
We got a high fastball he got, yep, right up there about letter high, big long high fly to right field. The ball, you're exactly right, Ralph. The ball really carrying here today. The heat in Cincinnati right along the Ohio River, and a lot of heat starts coming up off that field. And if you're a pitcher, you've got to keep the ball down.
You know, amazingly, this ballpark is located about 8 miles or so from where the old park, Crosley Field, was. And the ball would not carry in Crosley Field. It was really difficult to hit home runs there.
They said they wanted to try and grab some of the feel of Crosley Field and bring it here to this ballpark. I asked you about that yesterday because, of course, you played at Crosley Field. And you said it doesn't remind you in the slightest of Crosley Field.
Not one bit. No, they did have bleachers in right field at Crosley, but left field and center field were open. Center field had a short fence, but the ball would not carry there. And the one unique thing about Crosley Field, they had an incline in left field. And the outfield would be level, and all of a sudden it would go uphill.
Liner Dunn is going to get down and make the catch with those long arms of his at 6'6". But well hit by McEwing. And defensively, a look at the rest of the Cincinnati Reds.
And the defense brought to you by Fleet. In the outfield, Dunn, Austin Kearns, and Jose Guillen at right. Aaron Boone at short. Barry Larkin at third, Barry Larkin at short. Juan Castro at second. Sean Casey at first. Kelly Stinnett does the catching for Paul Wilson.
And Burnett steps in. He could be on the verge of having his best series of the year. It's been a terrific one so far. He's 5 out of 8 with 4 RBIs, doubling twice last night. He was 3 for 5 in the first game of the series. And this is his kind of day and his kind of park. Now, all of last year compared to this year, that split left and right on your screen there on that graphic. And I mean, already 16 home runs and 19 all of last year. And Ralph, this is a guy who has missed 28 games this year.
He's really come back, and of course he had some good years with Milwaukee and averaged somewhere around 30 home runs a year and also 100 runs batted in for about 5 years there. You know, talking about that old ballpark in Cincinnati, Crosley Field, they had that incline in left field, and it was really troublesome for the outfielders. And it was difficult to play there. And they had a ball player named Smead Jolly, who was a great minor league hitter. And he would stumble up that hill and fall down time after time.
Yeah.
And took him out there and worked him out. And he learned to go up that hill. And the next time he got a chance to do that, he went up the hill, and he fell down coming down the hill.
Little pop-up caught by Larkin, and Burnett is retired, 2 away.
They had to then teach him how to come down the hill after he went up the hill.
So that's a lot like that hill in center field that they have in the ballpark in Houston, right?
That's true, yeah. They have that incline there, and if you don't know where it is, you're going to fall down. You're going to hit that thing not knowing that it's starting to go up there. And it had about a 10-degree incline, and it was really difficult to play that outfield. It's really, the secret was to play right at the foot of the hill, and you knew your first step would be up.
Well, Cliff Lloyd, for one, delighted that there's no incline behind him today. Just a high fence. By the way, that home run by Timo, the first leadoff home run the Mets have had all season. And a 1-0 lead. Floyd hitting .275. Last night he cracked his 15th home run. That came in the 9th inning. He also added a double, drove in 3 runs.
Mets have had only 77 home runs so far this season. The Reds are on a pace to, well, maybe tie their all-time home run record of 221 in 1 year. They really hitting a lot of home runs. Got a chance to break that record, their own record there.
Floyd is aboard with ball 4, and that'll send up Ty Wigginton. The Mets breaking up Danny Graves' no-hit bid in the 7th last night, winning 6-2, so they've won 4 of the last 5 games. Ty in the series is 2 for 9, overall .273. He was 1 for 4 with a bunt hit in yesterday's win. Unfortunately for Cliff Floyd, because of that bad Achilles, and Stinnett will hand deliver the baseball here, you're not seeing him get a chance to run the bases and really steal as he is capable. Your local Jeep dealers bring our Spanish viewers the chance to enjoy today's telecast in Espanol. Aaron Howe kind of commented on it yesterday. He said, you know, basically my left fielder, we react like he's got a broken leg. That's the feeling we have, that he's a one-legged runner these days. A fly to shallow right. Guillen comes in to make the catch. Wigginton got it off the end of the bat. But Timo Perez got all of his 2nd home run of the season for the first time. The Mets start a game in 2003 with a big fly, and they lead it 1-0.
Getting ready to hit the road, we're putting online map services to the test.
And from Brat Pack star to ghost-chasing psychic, Anthony Michael Hall is here live. Plus, the nanny herself, Fran Drescher, pays us a visit tomorrow on the WB11 Morning News.
Well, the Mets going for a 3-game sweep here in Cincinnati on a hot sunny day. 1-0 New York. And so Barry Larkin will lead things off against the right-handed rookie Aaron Heilman. He is 0-1. Tom, a .277 ERA.
Well, a couple of numbers that jump out at you on Aaron Heilman, and you look at him. 13 innings pitched, only 11 hits right there, and only 3 base on balls. Real good control. Move the ball around, change speeds. We talked about him being a graduate of the University of Notre Dame, a smart pitcher, and he was really very analytical about pitching. And he's not going to overpower. He's not the kind of guy that to punch out 13 or 14 guys in a game, but he is going to be, if you want to look up and see a pitcher working on the mound, that definition is going to apply to him if he's going to make it in the big leagues. He is a pitcher and has to pitch to be effective in the big leagues.
Today is 3rd major league start since the Mets promoted him from AAA Norfolk on June 26th. 24 years old. He made his major league debut on June 26th and lost 6-1 to Dontrell Willis and the Marlins, but he pitched pretty well. He's the kind of guy, I think, Tom, you mentioned this is his very first start. They're going to have to play good defense behind Heilman.
Well, he's not a guy that's going to be a strikeout pitcher. And one of the things that you're going to do if you're going to have good defense, you're going to have to get ahead of your hitters. He's falling behind Larkin here, 3 balls and a strike. We've talked about it before. A pitcher can help himself by staying ahead of pitchers, and that will keep your defense in the game. It'll be sharper for you.
Threw for a base hit on the 3-1 pitch. Larkin wraps a single. He was 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. The starting lineup of the Cincinnati Reds, brought to you by your Tri-State Quality Ford dealers. After Larkin is Sean Casey. Jose Guillen's hit 17 home runs. Austin Kearns is in a big slump. Adam Dunn is just big. Juan Castro is at second base. Wilson, a pitcher, batting 9th. Up against Heilman. Now, in his major league debut against Florida, he actually pitched much better than 6-1 would indicate, because the Mets made 4 errors behind him. He allowed just 1 earned run in 6 innings. He was solid again on Tuesday as the Mets beat Montreal 7-6. He allowed 3 runs in 7 innings, but the bullpen broke down and he did not get credit for the win.
And one thing about Larkin at first base, he has only 1 stolen base and 1 try. At one time, an outstanding solo baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. He's played for the Reds longer than anyone that's been with one team that is an active player today. He's played 17 years for the Reds. He's been an outstanding player and was picked as the 6th best all-around shortstop by some smart guys. Hannes Wagner was picked the best shortstop of all time, and there's no one that can argue with that because Hannes Wagner was an 8-game batting leader, 8-year batting leader, and one of the great players of our time.
That guy in Texas, by the way, might rewrite everybody's perception of shortstop by the time he's done. Defensively for the Mets, Ray Sanchez made a wonderful play last night at shortstop.
Behind Aaron Heilman, our defense brought to you by Fleet. Cliff Floyd in left field, Perez in center, and Jeremy Burnitz in right. The infield, Wigginton and Sanchez on the left side. McEwing to start at second today. Tony Clark at first. And Vance Wilson out of there. Jason Phillips gets the call behind home plate to take care of Aaron Heilman.
The 1-1 to Casey missed the corner. Phillips has already gone to the mound to talk about what's going on here with Aaron Heilman. So maybe these two having some difficulty hooking up. The count 2-1. He had gone to 3-1 on Larkin before the single. Casey coming off an 0-for-4 night.
He's a pretty good hitter.
Yes, he is.
He's known as the mayor because he shakes everyone's hand and says hello and greets everyone. He welcomed to first base.
Larkin not running, and it's popped up. So Heilman made a good pitch on a good hitter, and Wigginton backs up for the grab. One away.
That's a good pitch right there. That's an indication of it's not really how hard you throw, but where you get the ball and pitching on both sides of the plate. First pitch in the sequence to Sean Casey was off the plate away. Then he came back and he jammed him and then went back in and jammed him again. Casey was looking back outside and just had to collapse enough to try to get the bat head to the ball and popped him up foul. Look at it again. See that ball when it crosses the plate, it's right on that inside corner. Another thing that Heilman does very well, he has very good movement on the ball.
And Casey is a left field hitter as a left-hand batter, and you've got to be inside to keep him from handling that outside pitch.
Guillen at 353, and that first pitch was also in there.
There's certainly a candidate for the All-Star game. Guillen's having a great year, and he's had his first great year in the major leagues. He's been released twice. Signed originally with the Pirates, and this year he's batting at 353. And with power, he has a total of 17 home runs and 44 runs batted in. The Reds don't have a candidate for the Hall of Fame, and the manager has to pick one from every team, and there's a good possibility he could be the guy for the All-Star game.
Might be him. There's also been some talk about Jason LaRue, who's one of their catchers. Little pop-up on the infield. Back-to-back, very good hitters. Heilman's made tough pitches. 2 down.
2 pop-ups in a row for Aaron Heilman. Let's see where he goes with this one. Another fastball back in, collapsed by the hitter. Now, remember that these hitters are facing Heilman for the first time. And it might be easy the first time through. You get a look at your pitcher, get a look at release point, and you get the information. Every one of those hitters coming back to the bench saying, well, what's he got? Does he throw hard, the movement? Where does he like to pitch? He's already proven that he will throw inside. Did it both to Casey and Guillen. Both those hitters, he is not afraid to come inside.
One of the things about the college players and high school players, they use aluminum bats, and when you pitch inside, you can hit the ball off center and hit a home run. Very unusual for a new player to professional ball to be pitching inside because they get shocked.
Do you think that's the #1 reason why the art of pitching inside has been lost?
No doubt about it.
That's like the umpires, talking about with the warnings and everything about hitting somebody and the hitters diving into the ball and all the fights that started, etc. That was another big issue.
That was it.
Got to where you couldn't throw inside.
Those were the 2 issues. And one thing about baseball in the old days and even now today, intimidation by a pitcher of hitting a batter is really a problem, and you have to compensate for that. And so batters now are diving out over the plate and driving the ball to the opposite field because they feel that they can't be knocked down. and can't be thrown at.
See, there is no rule. That's the other part of that, exactly what you're talking about, Ralph, and you know where I'm coming from on all this. There's no rule that says you can't throw off the plate inside.
Right.
No, there's no rule that says you can't do that. And if you're going to be successful in the big leagues, you have to do it.
You got to do it.
And then the hitters got to the point where they'd get hit with a ball that was 2 or 3 inches off the plate inside and then start blaming the pitcher. And you had all this confrontation going on. And so then the Major League Baseball drew an end to it. Okay, if you throw, you're going to get thrown out. If you hit somebody or retaliate or whatever. And then the judgment by the umpires, I think, got askew, et cetera. And I said, that pitch is only 3 inches inside. The guy's diving into it. It's not my fault.
You're right about that.
Don't blame me on this thing. Well, they tried to throw cold water on that. It didn't work.
Larkin running again, and again it's wrapped foul by the slumping Austin Kearns.
There's no doubt in my mind that hitting has gotten better because of the fact you can't really throw at a batter. And, of course, they do occasionally, and you see a lot of fights. In fact, the Reds were in a big fight the other day about batters being intimidated and what have you. But it's helped the hitters.
3-2 again he goes, and it's ball 4. So Kearns is on. That's a guy who came in 4 out of his last 44. Heilman walks him, so it's first and second in front of Aaron Boone. And again, Phillips going out to the mound almost all the way there to consult with Heilman.
What's going on now, you got a man at second base. They want to make sure they're on the same track as far as what they're using for signs, what the indicator may be. And some clubs use, for their entire staff, they use the same sign, which I think is an absolute mistake.
Well, there's no question about
That's
that.
an absolute mistake. I went to a club. I went to the White Sox, and they all used the same sign. And I said, well, 9 out of 10 of us will use the same sign. If you want to do it, I said, I am not using the same sign.
You changed them?
Absolutely. Use my own signs. Well, the point being, if you're the third pitcher in that series, by the time Game 3 or Game 2 comes around, somebody on second base, they know what you're throwing if you're using the same signs.
I had a manager, Bertie Grimes, who was he's in the Hall of Fame, as a matter of fact, and he had a sign. I played for him in Toronto, and he had a sign for every person, different sign for everybody in the lineup.
Man.
There's no way in the world you're going to get those signs.
2 on, 2 out. And missed the corner. You could almost hear Gary Darling, the home plate umpire, say that was off the outside edge. We'll take another look.
Sometimes you throw a pitch and you go, how in the world will they take it? Because they're looking middle in. That's why.
They're guessing.
High pop up. And so Heilman will get out of the inning as Floyd comes in to make the catch. 2 men left. A single and a walk, but nothing comes of that. And the Mets still lead it 1-0 after 1 in Cincinnati.
Battle the haze on those summer shea days with your Verizon Mets visor. On Tuesday, July 8th, the first 35,000 adults 13 and over to pour through the styles will watch in style as the Mets brave the Braves. The game starts at 7:10, so hurry out to the park. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
Mets fans, step up to the plate. Save up to 40% on Mets game tickets with your MasterCard. On select dates throughout 2003, the MasterCard Grand Slam Pack offers fans 4 discount tickets and Mets money. To purchase yours, call 718-507-TIX in advance or log on to Mets.com and have your MasterCard ready. Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver, a Hall of Fame duo along with yours truly, Dave O'Brien from Cincinnati. 1-0 the Mets in front. And New York about to come home for 7 games right before the All-Star break. Beginning tomorrow, that series against the Atlanta Braves at 7:10. Liner slicing it to center, but Kearns will fade on over to make the catch. Jason Phillips, even his outs are hard hit lately.
David, you make a good point about if this club is going to get hot, this is a good time for it, because when they go home and play the next 15 games, it's going to be Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Montreal. Everything in their division, and the 3 teams at the top of that division. So if you're going to get hot, good time for the Mets to get there. And you got a tough row to hoe in front of them as soon as they leave here Cincinnati.
Well, a very talented young pitcher they'll face tomorrow night for Atlanta. Where have we heard that before? Horatio Ramirez, he's 7-2, the lefty. Jae-Young Soh will be on the hill to oppose him in game 1. Tom Glavine goes on Wednesday against his old team. That's Wednesday afternoon, by the way, at 12:10 at Shea. Tony Clark checks in at 218. He has hit 9 home runs. Hits that one hard, but filling the hole, Castro, and the second baseman, makes the play, so 2 down. The Mets' upcoming schedule is brought to you by your Lincoln Mercury dealer. Tom talked about the Philadelphia series as well. Huge one for the Phillies, obviously. They are in the hunt right there in second place, but they've dropped 2 in a row. They're 6.5 games behind Atlanta going into play today, and we're back on the WB11 on Friday. Ray Sanchez takes a strike.
And the Mets right here today trying to sweep the series, and it would be the first time this year they would have swept or will have swept if they can do it. Also, the Devil Rays, Tampa's team, also has not won a series, and both of these teams trying to and in position to win one series, the first one of the year.
Fouled back by Sanchez, and Tommy had a couple of innings basically look at Paul Wilson now. How does he differ from the Paul Wilson of yesteryear?
Greatly. When the Mets signed him way back in 1994, he was the first pick for them back in 94, and he big kid out of Florida State, threw very, very hard, and I mean he had a world in front of him that was just going to be paved with gold. And then shoulders problems, elbow problems. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people around here with the Cincinnati Reds, a couple of other people that know Paul Wilson. They say, and now this is quite a statement you think about it, they say he is the hardest working player that they have ever seen.
Castro the charge and a bobble, and Sanchez will be safe at first.
All the Reds continuing to add on to their league-leading errors.
Actually, they get rid of the base
my
hit.
goodness,
How about that? Yeah.
No wonder.
Well, these are not the aberration last night was the spectacular defense on both sides, and these are two of the, as far as statistics go, two of the worst defensive teams in the National League, and that's a play at the big league level you've got to make. Sanchez does not run well, as you would think a shortstop would, and that play's got to be an out for you. I'll get back to that statement, David. You've heard talk about a lot of hard workers. You talk about Clemens, and you talk about Yastrzemski, and you talk whoever might come up. I mean, there's boatloads of them. People have said this is the hardest worker they have ever seen in the game of baseball. Talking about Paul Wilson and how he has rehabbed over a 3-year period to get back to the big leagues, not knowing if it would work. And you got to take your head off to him. And he's a great kid. I got to know him a couple of years ago in spring training when he was still with the Mets. He is a foxhole competitor.
Well, his first career start against the Mets, and he pins a strike on Aaron Heilman to get him looking. So after that questionable single, 1 man left. It's 1-0 the Mets. New York Hospital of Queens brings you this injury update. We talked about Al Leiter yesterday, that sore right knee. He is likely to miss what would be his second start, and we're not going to see Al Leiter in all likelihood until after the All-Star break. And even Art Howe wasn't sure about DL possibilities with his left-handed ace. It's been rough sledding lately for Leiter. 8 wins, but very deceptive. And Art Howe would love to have him back into that rotation before the break, but that is not going to happen, it would appear. He's going to be re-examined back in New York. Adam Dunn to lead things off 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. The Mets in front.
You know, you're talking about Al Leiter, and if you look at his last 3 or 4 games, and you knew that something was wrong. I mean, the base on balls, he was having 5-6 walks per game, and that's just not Al Leiter. You got to figure he had his mechanics so screwed up that he couldn't get himself organized, or was something physically wrong, and it's turned out that that his knees are bothering him.
Foul back by Dunn. To me, lately, he's going through the same thing he went through in '97. He had a great year for the Florida Marlins when I was doing their games in '96 and '97. In '96, he was terrific. '97, he had the knee problem there, and he was not the same pitcher most of the second half. So swinging a deep drive. Oh my goodness, look at this one. Way back to right. My goodness. Dunn with his 24th home run. He golfs it out of here, and that ties the game. Boy, when he hits him, everybody in Cincinnati knows it, because everyone in Cincinnati, even people outside the ballpark, can see it.
Well, he is certainly big enough. Great high school football player, and he is big and he is strong, and that was home run number 24. He's got a batting average that's really very low, but when he hits a ball, it goes. And this one was a rocket.
It was straight up and out. One pulled foul by Kelly Stinnett. He might hit the highest home runs in the National League today.
Dave Kingman, reincarnation of Dave Kingman.
He is certainly that, and of course McGuire also hit those tremendously high home runs. Kingman in 1982 for the Mets had 204 for the year and 37 home runs. Now Adam Dunn is hitting 209 before that home run. Was hitting 209. And he has just hit his 24th home run.
Wrapped to Ty Wigginton, who makes the stop. One away. Dunn was actually leading off for a while.
Gets a lot of walks, which is a paradox because he strikes out a lot. He has a very high total of strikeouts, but he also has a very high total of walks, which means he has a pretty good eye for the pitch in the strike zone or out of the strike zone, and that's his swing on that home run, and it was a monster.
You mentioned he was an exceptional high school quarterback at New Caney High in Texas. He actually accepted a football scholarship at the University of Texas. He chose baseball instead. Aaron Heilman is questioning that choice right now.
I think he's questioning that low fastball.
I think that's
he's been sitting there watching Aaron Dunn play for 2 games and kind of get an idea. Adam Dunn, I should say, get an idea what kind of hitter he is. Who's had the same swing against every pitch in the world. Curveball, fastballs, everything's been the same.
One gear.
He's one gear. He's got one swing, and if you get it in that zone, you get the 500-foot home run or whatever it is. He's had 2 days to watch him.
That's the old theory. Swing hard in case you hit it.
And Aaron, now that Notre Dame education went south on him right there. He threw it right down there where he can get at it.
Wigginton leaning on that rail, but it's out of his reach. Well, Dunn caught everybody's attention 2 years ago. He belted 51 home runs over an entire season. He had 12 at AA, 20 at AAA, 19 when he was promoted to the Reds. He also hit 2 in an all-star game that summer, so he actually hit 54 home runs that particular year. One swing can do a lot of damage. Down and away on Castro.
And he's got a chance to strike out 200 times this year, too.
Which would be the major league record.
Yeah. He's going to get a record. He's got a chance to get a record. It's probably not the one that he wants.
Well, he might not have a chance to get the old record held by Barry Bonds' dad, Bobby Bonds, 189 strikeouts. Because there's another guy that strikes out a whole lot more. And he's been saved from taking that record over because they've taken him out of the lineup. That's the shortstop for the Cubs.
Jose Hernandez, who a couple of years ago was sat down. Might have even been last year.
Last year.
Yeah,
with Milwaukee. That's right.
Yeah.
They sat him down the last week or so of the season so he wouldn't get the record. And you're talking about an all-star shortstop there. He's been playing a lot of third base, too. Wilson shortening up to bunt. Wigginton charging basically right into his shirt. He came so close.
It's really pretty much of a coordination play. If you're going to be very aggressive at third base, the pitcher on the mound's involved with this. You've got to get the ball on the outside part of the plate. You can't get your third baseman killed. And doing the same thing in Wigginton, very aggressive. Now that play put on defensively from the bench over there. Very aggressive coming in from third, Wigginton, and the sign coming from Jason Phillips. Go to first base, try to catch the runner at first base napping.
Well, you got to bunt the ball to first base. There's no way in the world you can bunt the ball to the third base side because it can be turned into a double play, or he's got to swing away.
If you've got the OKC single butcher boy. And Paul Wilson's a pretty good athlete too. And if with somebody that can handle the bat a little bit, you've got the third baseman just about 30 feet away from you at most. 25 feet maybe is away from you. You best not throw the ball in the inside part of the plate.
Oh, he was going to swing the bat.
Yeah. Pretty good athlete. That he's not as Paul Wilson's not a small man. 6'5", about 215, 220 pounds. Timmy Foley's going to come down from third base and talk to Wilson about what to do. Sometimes as an athlete, if you're a pitcher in this situation, you got to take the reins in your own hands, and you've got the third baseman right on top of you. You walk right up top of the plate and try to pull it at him, hit it right at him. You know, the fastball pretty much it should be on the outside part of the plate. Cheat a little bit on one pitch. Say, listen, I'm gonna go for it, and try to hit the ball right by the third baseman's head. They got Aaron Heilman a little bit confused in this.
Yeah, he's not really controlling the ball the way he used to, as shown the Mets early in his career here.
Did notice that Ty Wigginton was a little more hesitant to charge quite so close. First couple of times he was close enough to whisper in Wilson's ear. He gets the bunt down. Heilman has one play. Into second, Castro on the sacrifice.
Oh, that is textbook right there by Paul Wilson. Got the fastball up and out over the plate. Bat head up. You can send this one to the minor leagues if you put it on tape, and this is how you instruct. Watch the bat head up. And pops the ball down. That's a good piece of bunny with 2 strikes right there. Talked about, David, you and I have talked about it so many times about how Tom Glavine and being able to bunt and feel his position helps himself so very well. You win yourself 2-3 ball games a year by doing those kinds of things. Easily 2-3 ball games a year.
Larkin hitting now with the go-ahead run at second base for Cincinnati. Each side with a solo homer. Timo Perez for the Mets and Adam Dunn for the Reds. Larkin with 11 runs batted, and he singled his first time up. Good fastball on the outside edge.
Larkin's first time up, he worked the count to 3-1, got a fastball and got a base hit through the infield. Right now it's the other way around. It's in the pitcher's hands right now, a 2-strike count.
Larkin, a career .296 hitter. Has about 2,200 career hits. He's talked recently, kind of privately with some, about maybe breaking into broadcasting very soon. This might be his last season. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He was drafted #1 out of the University of Michigan. He was raised here in Cincinnati, went to Moeller High School. And it's turned out probably more high school major leaguers than any school in the country.
Yeah, famous high school.
2-2.
Great football power, too. Moeller High School, I mean, in the Middle West here. Huge name, Moeller High School for football.
Well,
high school football.
You run the names down of the players that came out of Moeller that are in were in or are in the major leagues.
Now Larkin comes from a great athletic family in his own right. Swing and a miss. The fastball smoked him. Heilman's best pitch of the day. That's the one he wanted to make to Adam Dunn, but he gets out of the inning with only 1 run. But this one traveled 422 feet by Adam Dunn and ties the game at 1.
Join us on Friday, July 11th at Shea Stadium for the 7th annual Merengue Night, presented by Chevrolet and McDonald's. See the Mets battle the Philadelphia Phillies at 7:10 p.m. Make sure to stay after the game for a special concert by Los Hermanos Rosario, Eddie Herrera, and Alex Bueno. For your tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
1-1 tie here as we go to the top half of inning number 3 from Cincinnati, and Timo Perez, who started the offense for New York with a home run, opening up the game against Paul Wilson. Will lead off again here. Then it's Joe McEwing, who's at short today, at second base today. And then Jeremy Burnitz. Toward the hole, a diving stab by Castro from his knees. He gets Timo Perez, who should be 2 for 2 if not for that play. Well, Lou Piniella, the manager of the Devil Rays, vowed that if his Tampa Bay club won 3 in a row, which they did yesterday, he would dye his hair any color except for purple. That's going to happen. Ralph Kiner was talking to Art Howe about the possibility of a sweep and what might happen in the manager's head then.
No, I wish I could say when we sweep a series, I'll grow some hair. But no, I'd like to see Lou with green hair once.
Well, I'd like to see Lou when he's not mad, because that might make him really mad.
Yeah, I think people would pay to see his hair some kind of crazy color.
And the question is, what can we do for Art? And he's not making any promises. Piniella said, I'll dye my hair any color except purple if Tampa Bay wins 3 in a row. And so they're preparing to dye now. I guess they picked blonde.
Why is he unhappy with purple hair?
It's a good question for Lou. I don't want to ask him. Why don't you ask him?
No way, I'm going to ask him.
You know, what can you do for Art? I mean, you could choose a different colored wig, maybe a blonde wig, a platinum blonde wig. That'd be great.
But that doesn't count because he can take the wig off.
Yeah, no, he doesn't like it. Lou's stuck with his. Pop foul out of play by McEwing.
You could look good with purple hair, Kiner.
Well, there were the Purple Peter Eaters, and that was a pretty good team, back in the old days of football.
I never saw a purple cow. I hope I never see one.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings, they could live with that.
Art doesn't have a lot of hair issues, does he?
He doesn't have a lot of hair.
Never really has a bad hair day. I mean, it has its advantages.
You know, Art Howe and Bob Boone, the opposing managers here today, were in one of the most interesting National League Championship series ever, 1980. 4 games in that series went extra innings.
McEwing with a swing and a miss. He strikes out. Second K in the book for Paul Wilson.
The Phillies coming out on top in that series, but that was some series in 1980.
Two down, and Burnett's climbing in. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out to short.
And we mentioned earlier that Jeremy has a good shot, I guess, at being a selectee for the All-Star game. It's really going to be tough for the managers to select players, because what they should have done, in my estimation, when they made this All-Star game so-called an important game to decide who's going to be the home team in the World Series, they should have opened up the roster even more, because you've got to have players now. It counts.
Swinging a drive. This one may count as 1, and it will. A home run for Jeremy Burnett, number 17. He's having some series, and if he is making an all-star statement, the exclamation mark is here in Cincinnati. 17th home run. The second by the Mets today, who now lead it 2-1.
Looked like a fastball from Paul Wilson. He did not get in. Real quick, short swing by Jeremy Burnett. It is certainly not the swing that we saw last year. You're talking about a hot hitter. That's probably the hottest hitter in the National League right there. And the ball out to left field, left center, pulling the ball, and he really turned on that inside fastball. 2 home runs for the Mets here, and for Paul Wilson, that's the 18th home run that he has given up, and now just about 100 innings.
So over the last 9 games for Burnett, that's 5 homers and 10 RBIs, hitting over 370.
Oh, Jeremy really having himself a comeback year. Last year was he was the worst sitting regular outfielder in baseball, and now coming back with another good year to go with his outstanding years with Milwaukee. One time he was a Met, and Dallas Green was his manager, and they traded him away.
Yeah, he's had a comeback within a comeback. Comeback from last year's bad year, and coming back from that fractured bone in the hand this year.
Hit by a pitch ball, and then had that fractured hand.
Pretty good right there, Ralph. In it, firm front leg.
Very good swing,
right. Yeah, that's a good swing. That was not Jeremy Burnett's last year.
Last year, he had to hit an elevator because it was a swing that started about at his knees and ended up at his shoulders. He really had an uppercut swing.
And there's both hands on the bat.
And
we didn't see that at all last year.
No, he took that top hand off the bat.
Early.
In there for strike 3. Floyd doesn't think so. He has a quick word for Gary Darling. But Brunitz has his say in the inning with a home run to make it 2-1 New York. We're in the middle of the 3rd. A look at our Newsday quote book. We were talking about Burnett's chances being an all-star, and he says it would be an honor. I'd be happy about it. That goes the same for whoever goes for our team on this possible all-star selection. Well, a home run here to add to that possibility today. And it's up and away, ball 1 to Sean Casey. So Aaron Heilman, thanks to a pair of solo home runs by Timo Perez and Jeremy Brunitz, has a 2-1 lead.
One thing about that All-Star game, it should be an honor, and there are players that didn't want to play in that All-Star game. Gary Templeton, for example, was a player that said, if he ain't starting, I'm not departing. That was one of his calls, so he wouldn't go to it.
Pretty good rhyme, though. I mean, give him credit for that, but no one had that attitude when you were playing at All-Star.
Well, I would guess they probably did, but it was a real honor to go. And when I was playing, it was not easy because they didn't fly there. You had to go by train, and it meant you took the train, that was one day, and it took the train back, and that was one day. So it was 3 days of 2 days of travel and 1 day for the All-Star game.
But the break wasn't any longer to accommodate the travel.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Casey 0 for 1. He's popped out.
One thing that I have never understood, some of these players that are making 10, 12, 15 million dollars get bonuses for making the All-Star team. They should make the All-Star team for that kind of money.
Casey takes ball 4. Batting out of the 2 slot today. They batted him 6th last night. He's also hit 3rd, 4th, and 5th this season, so they really move him around. On the topic of All-Stars, Jose Guillen just might be that man for Cincinnati. 17 homers, 44 runs batted in.
Yeah, and he has the difficulty of being a 4th outfielder on this ball club with Ken Griffey involved in the overall picture. And they don't figure him to be playing more than 4 days a week.
And he just missed a home run on that pitch, too.
Boy, he had a good swing.
Oh, he had a good swing, yeah. Quick bat, middle in, fastball up. He just missed hitting a 2-run home run.
Here's an interesting stat about Ken Griffey, who was considered to be a solid Hall of Famer. No question and doubt about it. Griffey, in his 4 years with the Reds, has missed 201 games. That's 35% of the games. Since he joined the Reds, the club is 30 games under 500. That's really amazing. And when he didn't play and was out with injuries, when they had quite a few, the team was only 3 games under 500. And this guy was one of the great players of our time when he played for Seattle.
Yeah, he was voted to the All-Century team. And he was voted along with outfielders like Mantle and Williams and DiMaggio, people like that.
He reached 400 home runs faster than anyone.
As a look at his decline, he's played in about 108 games a year since coming to the Cincinnati Reds. Out of the lineup today, as he was last night, because he was a bit dizzy. Slapped toward the alley. Floyd got a late start. He dives and can't get it. Casey heading into 3rd. It's picked up by Timo Perez. The throw comes to 2nd. Not in time to get Guillen. So the Reds flying on the base paths, and Floyd has been shaken up in the outfield. Got a very late break on that ball, and when he dove, he came up short. That might have hit him in the face. Let's take another look.
Well, it's the second good swing that he's had in this at-bat. He just missed a home run on the first pitch, and he's threading the needle with Cliff Floyd. Ball bounced up and hit Floyd either in the right shoulder, maybe hit him in the chin. That no harm, no foul. I don't think it hit him that hardly. I hit him that hard, and Guillen hustling got into second base. Casey had to hold up at second base and make sure that Floyd could not catch the ball and get doubled off.
His chin hit the ground. That was it. That's where he took a shot right to the chin. So second and third here, nobody out. Austin Kearns hitting, although not doing a lot of hitting lately. 4 hits in his last 44 at bats, just 2 in his last 28. The time you talk about it from time to time. The key inning in a game is not always the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th for a pitcher.
How you win a ball game, and this is the inning right here. Second and third, nobody out. Got men in scoring position. And for this entire series, they've been throwing the ball right by Austin Kearns. Heilman did the same thing on that first pitch.
Ralph, it's a young hitter they rave about. He has put up numbers in the past, but he's very, very young. He's only 22 years old. And that bat looks about as slow as any bat you're going to see out of a cleanup man right now.
Well, he's not fast, that's for sure there. And if you watch him, he has a little up and down movement. Now, the up and down part, actually, he goes down with the hands and comes back up. That takes enough time to put you behind the pitch. And that might be one of the things that has caused him to have that slower bat. But evidently, he doesn't feel that way. Now, when you're young, you really get confused mentally. And that hurts because you start chasing things. You start thinking things. All kinds of people talk to you.
Ground ball, here comes Casey. Sanchez slings it on over in time, and the run comes in. So it's tied up 2-2. Kearns gets his bat on it, did not hit it very hard, but he will get his 58th RBI.
Take a look at the hands of Austin Kearns. He is right down at the end of the bat. Left hand over the bottom of the bat. And jammed again. He has not gotten to the ball this entire series, right? He's not gotten the bat head of the ball the entire series.
Yeah, well, that time he got the hands down, but he didn't get them back up. And that's no way you can hit that way. You got to get to, if you do have a hit, you can go down, but you got to get back up before the ball gets to you. And right there, he pushed that ball, and he didn't hit the ball hard at all. And they got the run in, but they got a big out, and the runner at second base is still at second. It takes a base hit possibly to get that run at second. So far, so good for Heilman.
The Reds don't think much about RBI singles. They think about home runs. And this guy included the manager's son, Aaron Boone. In fact, he's hit 55 home runs since Bob Boone became the skipper of the Reds in 2001. And the only player with more homers while being managed by his father is Moises Alou. He hit 84 for Felipe.
That's when Moises played for his dad at Montreal. Now Felipe Alou is managing back in the major leagues after retiring and with the San Francisco Giants.
Yep, have them in first place. 5-game lead over the Arizona Diamondbacks in the West. They count 2 balls and a strike on Aaron Boone. Bob was under some fire early this season. It was a 3 or 4 week window back in May. As you look at the Boone family numbers, one of the great baseball families around.
He was under the gun before the season started.
Sure was. And back in May, I mean, when they were really scuffling, there was a lot of talk he was going to be fired here.
Before even things got rolling, some people were beating the drums. And
absolutely. He was on the hot seat when the season started. Big swing and a miss by Boone.
That's a good pitch right there by Aaron Heilman, pulling the string on the 2-3-1 pitch. Excuse me. Looking for fastball, Boone is, and he gets the off-speed pitch in a perfect location with movement.
You don't see that often, changing speeds on that count by a rookie.
Got him. Swing and a miss, and he fans Boone. Well, the Reds strike out more than anybody in the majors, and a big one for Heilman.
Well, a lot of pitching coaches will say if it works once, do it again. Hitter will not be able to adjust. And sorry to say this, Mr. Kiner, a lot of pitching coaches say hitters aren't that smart. They will not learn that quickly.
Yeah. No, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, no, wait. I'm in the middle of a sentence here. Anyway, it was exactly the same pitch, so a punch out for him in a big key situation for Heilman.
Well, now
what were you going to say about the dumb what? Who?
I didn't say dumb. I said they have a lack of intelligence.
Oh. That must have been when you went to USC.
Right, yeah.
Dunn to be put on intentionally with first base open. He's the man who hit the 422-foot home run in the second inning. Stinnett coming up next. Managers in the majors, and we talk about positions and infielders at the very top of that list. Catchers with only one pitcher though, Tom, managing in the majors.
Well, maybe that does make them smarter because they don't want to get involved with all that
You
stuff.
know what? There's a lot of guys in this group up here, more than pitchers, that aren't in first place. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, the manager that managed the longest in the history of baseball in the major leagues, Connie Mack, and he was a catcher. Managed 50 years. You know why? He owned the team.
He owned it.
He didn't fire himself.
There you go. Good job security there. Stinnett 0 for 1. He's rolled out to third. The Mets will be delighted if Aaron gets out of the inning, allowing just one run.
No, the interesting thing about walking Adam Dunn, he is a fellow that can strike out, and he struck out almost 100 times already this year. So the Mets walk him. Of course, Stinnett has never been known as a good hitter, but he doesn't strike out that much. But there is 2 out, and maybe that will work. This strategy could work. Dunn earlier in this ball game hit a home run. If you cut that home run up with singles, he'd be hitting 400. The thing was really struck.
Off the end of the bat, deep short, it squeaks on through. Here comes Guillen rounding third. Floyd firing home, not in time. So he won't get out of the inning, allowing just the 1 run. And Cincinnati takes the 3-2 lead. Sounded like Stinnett broke his bat. Give him an RBI, though.
It may have been that changeup again that got the key hitter in the inning up to that point. Aaron Boone, the changeup, is going to bring Vern Rule out to talk to his young right-hander. And here you see it, the throw, and the runner from second base, Guillen, scores easily with 2 outs in the inning. It looked like he did hit it out on the end of the bat. Fool the hitter, but you know, those hitters every once in a while will look for your best pitch. Take a listen here and see if you can tell the bat gets broken on this pitch. And by inches, it was not a perfect pitch. A couple more inches to the right, and Ray Sanchez has a play at first base on Stinnett, because Stinnett does not run very well. How finite the game is. I mean, you only missed that by about 4 or 5 inches.
Here's the number 8 hitter, Juan Castro. He took ball 4 in the second inning. 30-year-old from Mexico. Hits it to the right side hole for a base hit. Here comes Dunn trying to score. Burnett's throwing home. It's cut off. All this happening now with 2 out. Another run in, and they're rattling Aaron Heilman. 4-2 Cincinnati.
Well, going the other way between first and second, gets a fastball up and out over the plate. We talked about Heilman. If he's going to be effective, he has to be down in the strike zone. And with 2 outs, a big man from second base, Dunn scores easily. Jeremy Benitez actually thought he had a shot at him, but with 2 outs, there's no way you're going to get him at home plate.
So 3-run innings so far for Cincinnati. Runners at first and second for Paul Wilson, a pitcher. He is the 8th Red to swing in this inning.
And all this started with a walk. That's one of the things that you see time and time again. Last night, the Mets got started with a walk and had no hits up until that point. And the batter walked, and then Burnett's got the double. And the Mets got in front, won the ball game.
Amazing, isn't it? Danny Graves last night was virtually perfect. And all of a sudden, a base on balls and
started the whole thing.
Yep,
4 runs in the inning.
Late swing by Wilson. And one guy on the Mets who was not surprised at all by Graves' success, at least in the first 6 innings, was the guy who really broke it up, Jeremy Burnitz. He had the first hit in the 7th inning, and he said Graves just had fantastic stuff. He has an electric sinker.
He had been on base early in the game, the only man to reach first base when he was hit by a pitch.
It was a very classy gesture, I thought, by Burnitz to compliment him like that, because Jeremy got drilled right in that 0.
Right in the 0 on his number 20. Right in the target, yeah.
That's right.
It's a nice little target, isn't it?
It really
What
is.
number did you wear, Ralph?
Number 4.
Probably just hit the
Didn't have
crosshairs
any
on
of
that.
them. Right.
Oh, there's crosshairs. You can find one. Somewhere there's a target in there. St. Louis Cardinals showed up one year in spring training, and part of their promotions they put a cardinal, the bird, on the side of the helmet.
So you had the,
And so Lou Brock came up, and I saw before the game. I said, "Lou, it's nice of him to put a little target on your helmet there."
he took it off, huh?
Caught and a miss by Wilson, strike 3. But not a good inning for Aaron Heilman, the rookie, chasing his first major league win. He's down 4-2. He walked 2 in the inning, and he gave up 3 key hits.
Nightlife, more than a little out of control.
I'm not going to pay for it.
Boarding House, North Shore.
Tonight at 9, only on the WB11.
A look at the Dodge trivia question here this afternoon. Who are the 4 players to play for the Mets with the last name Wilson? Well, of course, right-hander Paul Wilson, former New York Met, is on the mound here this afternoon trying to beat the Mets in his very first start against New York.
And probably the most popular Met player ever, outside of Tom Seaver.
Well, you just got away. You just snuck me in there, Kiner.
Mookie Wilson.
Boy, oh boy, were you in for a long day.
That was a great save, because after calling
man.
pitchers as a race complete idiots, I mean, to bounce back with a save like that is a Hall of Fame move. No question about it. A beautiful day here, hot day. We figure the baseballs will be flying out. There have been a few home runs hit already, one by Timo Perez. The other big fly, of course, by the Mets was Jeremy Burnitz, but the longest one off the bat of Adam Dunn sailed 422 feet.
Did Wilson Pickett ever play for the Mets?
I don't think so.
He sang the national anthem one time.
Yeah.
And did a great job. Does that count?
No.
No, it doesn't count.
count.
All right, I'm just asking.
I don't know. I mean, one of the great trivia questions of all time is who played for the Yankees and the Mets and the Brooklyn Dodgers. And that was Gladys Gooding, who played the organ. So that was one of the big trivia questions. So it does count.
You won a lot of contests on that baby, didn't you?
Yeah, no.
You probably won a couple of lemonades with that one, too, didn't you?
Yeah. Very sweet lemonades.
Ty Wigginton, 0 for 1. He's flying out to right field. Ty coming into the game leading all National League rookies in hits, runs, RBIs, total bases, and extra base hits. And you don't hear a lot of talk about Ty as a Rookie of the Year candidate.
He's up there in real good numbers in all the categories.
Sure is. 29 extra base hits.
He's going to get some votes. He's getting a couple pops from us, I know that, and deservedly so. He made a great heads-up play that you don't normally see a rookie make. Last night, he caught the infielders asleep. He caught Larkin asleep. He caught the second baseman Castro asleep when there was a runner on third, and they took their eye off him, and Wigginton was at first base. Boom, he scooted right down to second.
Larkin from behind the bag throws out Wigginton.
Took the Mets out of a double play situation. Nothing but heads up. Young, smart kid, got a football mentality. You saw him when he was charging the plate earlier when Wilson was at the plate. Now that was I was duly impressed last night with that play at first base when he took off and went to second. Embarrassed
he was right
everybody.
on top of the ball. Yeah, he did a great job.
One down for Jason Phillips. He takes under the hands, ball 1. He's 0 for 1, having lined out to center. Started the afternoon batting .312, doing the catching today, as Vance Wilson gets the day off.
How about Vance Wilson? He gets the day off, and he is a Sunday ball player.
We also just gave another trivia answer there, part of our trivia package.
So we got them all, huh? Wilson.
No, we got 3.
We got Wilson, Pickett, and then the other 3 that you guys came up with.
Wilson Pickett doesn't count.
Why? I want him to count.
How about let's talk about Vance. Vance on Sundays is hitting .393.
How could you leave him out of the lineup?
How could you leave him out of the lineup? Yeah.
Phillips with a defensive swing, if ever there was one. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think maybe Phillips on this was trying to keep the ball from hitting him in the chest. He's guessing away. Ball comes in. He starts his swing very early, dives.
That's right.
And is a dead fastball hitter. First pitch of the game. Now, if you didn't think scouting reports don't go very far, the first pitch of the ball game, Paul Wilson, was a curveball.
That was a fastball right there. And he blows away Phillips. Now, it might be hard to get distracted here or not to get distracted. Watch the bird here. So we can pick up the bird flying by. Keep your eye on the birdie.
You tell me which part of the screen I'm supposed to be looking at. I missed it.
You didn't see it? Well,
no, I did not. I didn't see it.
We got to show that to you.
I guarantee you, I haven't seen it either.
Come on now.
This is.
Hang in there,
guys.
Can
we put this on the highlight roll for the end of the year stuff?
Socked into left, a sinking liner, but Dunn makes the catch. No distraction there. Clark did hit it stiff, but right into the glove. See, take one more look. There it is. Here's the little birdie, guys. They still haven't seen it.
Mets fans, on Saturday, July 12th, watch the Mets with the Phillies and receive a wiffle ball and bat courtesy of Fox Sportsnet. Be one of the first 12,000 kids 12 and under at Shea for the 1:20 p.m. game, and you'll soon be swinging for the fences. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or check out Mets.com. Wiffle Ball and Bat Day, July 12th. We'll see you at Shea.
All right, look at the Dodge trivia question. We'll also give you the answer.
I'll give you the answer. Preston Wilson, Mookie's adopted son.
Yeah, let's take a look. Mookie, Paul, Preston, and Vance. You're absolutely right. You got it. And so Ralph Kiner's out of the lightning round. You got Preston Wilson. That was the missing Wilson. Tom Seaver?
No, there was no missing Wilson.
You got too many Wilsons.
Said Mrs. Wilson.
Right.
Vance getting a break today, but at least for now, the way he hits on Sunday, you got to get him in there eventually. As a pinch hitter, perhaps. Barry Larkin is 1 for 2 with a single in the first inning. It is 4-2 Cincinnati. We're in the home half of the 4th inning. Tom Seaver, Ralph Kiner, Dave O'Brien here in the WB11. Hope you've had a wonderful July 4th weekend. That one knocked down hard into the corner, but foul. Larkin does not swing the bat like a 39-year-old man on his last legs in the big leagues. That average is quickly rising. 2 for 4 last night. He should be hitting around 300 in a week, maybe by the All-Star break. Lofted into center. Here comes Timo. He makes the catch. And to make an adjustment, he was fooled a bit on the flight of that fly ball in the center.
Yeah, that ball was hit off the end of the bat, and when you hear the crack of the bat in the outfield, you usually judge by the sound, and not when the sound fooled him. Got a late jump, but he got there.
That was the 86th pitch by Aaron Heilman in this ball game. Believe it or not, he had 23 in the first inning, 34 last inning. Put it in perspective, you're probably going to average about 15 per inning. But he is already past the 85 mark, and we're in the 4th inning.
They tell me that you just made the scoreboard for the Reds, Cincinnati Reds. You're the answer
to their trivia question.
My name is not Wilson. I'm telling you right now. I'm not. My middle name, my first and last name, not Wilson. There's one.
Sean Casey goes yard. Sean Casey with number 9. It is 5-2 Cincinnati. It looks less and less likely that Aaron Heilman's first major league win will happen today in the city of Cincinnati. That's the 2nd home run he's given up. Here comes Vern Rule.
Well, he is due to bat in the next half inning for the Mets, and if the Mets do make a switch here, they'll have to do a double switch.
We talked in the first inning about the Cincinnati Reds getting their first look at Aaron Heilman. And Sean Casey got jammed the first time, so he has seen all the pitches now. This is his third at-bat against Aaron Heilman, he was not a hard thrower. Doesn't mean he's a soft thrower either, but he is not an overpowering pitcher. Not a guy that can get away with many mistakes, and he left the ball up too much of the plate on that one. And Sean Casey in the seats in right field for his 9th home run. The education of a pitcher. How can the hitters want to know? How can he get me out? What's his best pitch? Where does he go when he's in trouble? Well, every hitter in the world wants to know that. What's he going to resort to?
Well, the pitcher, I think, has the advantage the first time you see him because he knows what he's going to do. He studied you.
No question.
And the main thing is that when you see a pitcher for a while, you learn his patterns. What does he throw when he's behind the count?
Pedro Feliciano is the man getting ready in the Met bullpen. And since the advent of the splitter, that's the other question that hitters always want to know the answer to. Does he have one? I mean, he'll spend time in the pregame around the batting cage asking a question. Does he possess a split finger fastball? If they don't know him. Ian grounds out. He's 1 for 3. And so with 2 out, Austin Kearns will step in.
When you look at Wigginton at third base, he came up as a second baseman. He's really improved playing that third base position.
Been very steady over there all season long, I think, to the happy surprise of the Met front office.
And from a tradition standpoint, pretty big for a second baseman if he was going to play there. He is built like a third baseman.
Fly ball deep to right field, but not deep enough, and Burnitz will corral this one to get Kearns. But Sean Casey, nobody caught his. It kept on sailing for his 9th home run of the season. And with that home run, it's now Cincinnati 5, the Mets 2. Cincinnati, Ohio, on the banks of the Ohio River. Their brand new ballpark, Great American. Dave O'Brien, Ralph Kiner, Tom Seaver with you on a Sunday afternoon with the Mets. We're now trailing 5-2. We'll have to bounce back if they're going to sweep for the first time this year after winning games 1 and 2 last night. The 7th inning was the big inning as they finally got on the hit parade and wound up winning the ball game 6-2. Off the fists, a pop up by Ray Sanchez. Just saw Roger Cedeno. He'll hit for Aaron Heilman here. So that'll do it for the rookie right-hander, who gives up 5 runs, 6 hits, and a home run ball certainly hurt him too, as he gave up a couple of big flies, 1 to Casey and 1 to Dunn.
Well, in this game so far, we talked about the tale of 2 pitchers, Heilman and Wilson, and the tip of the hat certainly goes to Wilson, especially when you think about the Cincinnati starters on this pitching staff for Bob Boone. 16 and 37, that's their record. The starters are 16 and 37 with an ERA over 6.
You know, one more thing about that, the relief pitchers on the Reds, might have more strikeouts than the starters have, which is unusual. In fact, it's so unusual, it's never happened.
Well, the starters only average about 5+ innings per start, and the strength of this ball club really is the bullpen for Bob Boone. If they can get any pitching, of course, their defense is horrid. They strike out too much, and the starting pitching is not good. And thank God for at least for the Cincinnati Reds, they're in the National League Central Division, which at least they've got to and see the leaders of the division ahead of them.
That one kicked off the leg of Wilson. It rolls to Castro to Casey. How about that ricochet play? 1-4-3, and Cedeno is retired.
And the pitcher will get an assist on that play, a skate save, I guess.
Yep, that's what they call it. When that happens, that will bring the Don Gullett out of the dugout. Wilson's going to say, I'm fine. Skate save. That's exactly what you call it. The old hockey term, skate save.
Right. Getting back to the relief pitchers of the Reds, they came into this game with 228 strikeouts for the season, only 7 fewer than the starters had. No National League team has ever had more strikeouts from its relievers, than from its starters. It has been done twice in the American League, the 1977 Mariners and the 1989 Blue Jays.
Wilson taking a couple of practice tosses here. Looks like that one got him off the shin. Now look at the Toyota National League scoreboard here. Montreal with a lead on Atlanta. They're in the 4th inning. Marlins playing pretty well against those Phillies. Pirates out in front. Milwaukee and Colorado just getting started. Looks like Wilson's going to be fine. He's got a 5-2 lead. The former Met trying to defeat his one-time employer. The first time he's ever faced the Mets in a starting capacity. He has made one relief appearance against the Mets. Here's Timo Perez. He started the afternoon with a home run back in the 1st. He's 1 for 2. Two down. The Mets getting ready to head back home to Shea Stadium against those Atlanta Braves on Monday. And the last week of games, the last 7 games before the All-Star break, will be at Shea. He pulls that one. Castro there with a stop. Side retired. So Wilson, no worse for the wear. He gets them 1-2-3. We're at the midway point in Cincinnati. We're about to send you to the home half of inning number 5 with the Reds in front 5-2. They're trying to stave off a sweep. Wake up with the WB11 morning news team. Let John, Lynn, Linda, and Emily give you all the news you can use. That's every weekday morning starting at 5:30 a.m. on the WB11. Aaron Heilman goes the first 4, and he'll be on the hook for a loss if the Mets can't come back today. He gives way to the left-hander Pedro Feliciano. His strikeout total is very impressive. 21 of them, Tom, and 21 in the 3rd inning.
Well, if there's a silver lining in having one of your pitchers knocked out early, you get a look at the young pitchers coming along in your system, huh? And there's numbers, 21 strikeouts and the like number of innings.
Now this inning, he'll get 5, 6, and 7. He'll get Boone, Dunn, and Stinnett. Aaron Boone really scuffling coming into this ball game. He's 0 for 2 and just 12 hits in his last 62 at bats. So he's gone south quickly. The guy in front of him, Austin Kearns, is also in a lengthy slump. And if the Reds don't hit, they don't win, as their pitching has been pretty awful and their defense even worse than that. But today out in front 5-2, and the long ball has helped. They've hit 2 homers.
So much for pitching and defense.
Yeah, right. Taking a back seat here, Great American. Fly center field. Timo Perez comes on straight ahead to make the catch. Got a good read on that one.
If you believe in, as far as baseball goes, strength, take a listen here. Listen. Oh, yes. That just warms the cockle shells of my heart, Mr. Kiner. You know that? Just that wood splintering.
You like that?
Those old bats. Those bats that you used to use, those aluminum ones that didn't break. Oh, that was that's right. You were before that, right?
You know,
they didn't have those at USC when you were there.
No. The evolution of baseball bats has really changed, of course. The one thing they used to use years ago was hickory, but it was so heavy that they got away from that and went to ash, and now they've gone into another kind of wood that's different entirely. Of course, in the middle, in college and high school, they used aluminum. That really changes.
It's one of the great, the Hall of Fame weekend, which you and I will be to coming up at the end of this month. One of the great weekends of the year for us, obviously, is when we go over to the museum and see all the old bats. See all the big, they're like, some of them are like wagon tongues, for crying out loud. The different kinds of woods and the evolution of the baseball bat through the history of the game of baseball. Really fascinating.
A guy named Browning was a guy that really had them designed and got Louisville Sluggers involved. He went to a woodmaker and said, I want a bat made out of ashen or whatever it was. And they designed that bat for him. But the differences of all the bats is really interesting.
Stinnett flies that one to right. Burnett's on the edge of the track hauls it in, and Dunn, who had singled, retreats to first base. Do they have that tree trunk that Babe Ruth used to swing?
Well, he was said to swing a 52-ounce bat. The longest bat ever used in baseball was by Al Simmons, one of the greatest hitters of all time. No one really remembers that name that well. He used a 42-inch bat. And the reason why he used that long a bat, most of the bats are 34, 35 inches, was that he was known as a bucket hitter. He stepped in the bucket, right-hand batter, and he stepped over by the coach's box or in that direction. And he used a 42-inch bat.
And he stepped in the direction of the coach's box and oftentimes actually hit the coach at the coach's box with a 42-inch bat.
Well, he almost did.
Yeah.
And his power was out to right center field. And he was one of the great hitters. Al Simmons.
Juan Castro fights that one off for a foul strike. He's gone 1 for 1 with an RBI single.
There was a bat made that was called a bottle bat, and it was shaped like a bottle, with the center of the bat being bigger and much more in circumference than the end of the bat. And that was used back in the 1800s by some ball players.
Dunn at first base with 2 away. That one wrapped up the middle, and McEwing couldn't get to it. Dunn pulls up into second, so another base hit, second in the inning off Feliciano. Castro's 2 for 2.
Joe McEwing, the start at second base, has a shot at this. Actually pitches down, but in the middle of the plate, hit hard enough to get by McEwing. And Dunn stopped at second base.
Castro did not break his bat on that, but Aaron Boone did on that fly to center field, which is Tom's favorite sound on earth as Wilson takes down low.
Biggest bat I ever used was a 36-36.
And that's considered
I
big.
stole it. I stole it from Barry Bonds. Obviously ended up breaking it, but I hit a home run with it because Bobby Bonds, excuse me. I got that backwards, obviously. Went to Montreal, I'll make this as quickly as I can. Gene Mauch was a manager that if the pitcher threw a strike to the opposing pitcher or any hitter, really, next pitch had to be a curveball every time. And then I went up there, took this 36, and I had no right in the world using this bat, except I went up there looking for curveball, threw me a curveball. Bill Stoneman, general manager now of the Anaheim Angels. Yeah. That's right, a good curveball. And boom, he threw me a curveball and bam, hit it in the seats in left field. Won a ball game 2-1.
Was that the bat?
No, that's when I was hitting my finesse hitting the ball to right field. I could go the other way as well, hitting that ball to right field.
Like you were
I wasn't just a pure power hitter. You look at me, you think I'm just a pure power hitter. I could go to all fields here. Put the ball in play, bunt, hit and run. Manager could do whatever he wanted when I was up there,
In Tom's finesse hitting phase.
Have you had enough of me yet? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We check out the Toyota line score, and here it is for the Cincinnati Reds. 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. For the Mets, 2 runs, 3 hits. That's all against Paul Wilson, and no errors. In fact, 2 of the Met hits have gone over the fence, Timo Perez and Jeremy Burnitz, but that has been the offense. So a steamy day here by the Ohio River as the New York Mets try for a 3-game sweep, but they're down 3.
Now you know why the first night game was played here in Cincinnati. First night game ever back in 1935. That was the first night game in the major leagues. Back in 1930, they had a minor league night game. And they told about games that were played when they used automobile lights on the high beam, obviously, to play night ball and semi-pro or things, amateur ball years and years ago.
It really runs your battery down, though.
Can't get the car started.
Got to be careful. McEwing takes a strike. Joe is lined out and struck out today. Burnitz and Floyd will follow, so we'll see if this is the inning the Mets can do something with the guy who used to be one of their own, Paul Wilson.
They've had runners on every inning. They've had base hits in every inning, but they haven't been able to score enough.
We were talking about Crosley Field, Ralph, a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Crosley Field was named after a guy named Powell Crosby. Crosley, I should say. And he was the owner of the ball club, and he had that stadium built, and they named it after him. And he also built a car in 1939 that sold, I think, for about $400. And you could get 40 miles to a gallon of gas, and if you wanted the radio for that car, you had to pay $5 more.
A good bargain, though, I think.
It was a great bargain. He said, why build a battleship when you can buy my car?
McEwing strikes out swinging.
Joe McEwing chasing the pitch way out of the strike zone here, way up above shoulder height. You were talking about him last night, Ralph, being off balance, and he is. Three kind of body movements going when he goes to hit the ball.
He's going in every direction you can go. At the same time, he's going left, right, and up and down, and whatever.
Well, Burnitz is going right through the roof these days. Another home run for him in the third inning. Number 17 for Jeremy. Was bounced back beautifully since that fracture in the left hand suffered on that Billy Wagner pitch back on April 22nd. He is locked in right now. A high bounder. Castro from the outfield grass will throw on to Casey. 2 up, 2 down. And that's 9 in a row set down by Wilson. And 12 out of the last 13.
Can you hear the metal dropping in the background? The noise background? Somewhere on the field down there, when somebody gets a hit or something's dropping. There it is, whatever that is. Maybe that's the donut on the bat or whatever it is. But you can bet that every time somebody comes in here, they're looking at the player next to you and say, oh, they just dropped your glove over there.
That one has a chance down into the corner by Floyd, but it is foul. He really pulled that pitch.
That noise has been going on all 3 games that I've been here.
It really bothers you.
No, it doesn't. I had great fun with Hernandez because I said, oh, somebody's got your glove down there, Keith. They just threw it down on the concrete. And you'll hear it every once in a while. How close is this? Pretty good pitch. Floyd went out, top-handed, turned it around, and hooked it just enough to go foul. Look out for the cameraman coming right at you.
The 0-1. Very high and foul again.
Now, if you're throwing fastballs and a hitter is way out in front of them, good pitch is to pull the string on them, and they're out a little bit farther. Now, Floyd has been out in front of both those pitches.
Now's the time to pull that string.
Now's the time after set it up with the fastball. That's, he probably has tried the fastball already. Doesn't like what the reaction he's getting from Floyd on the fastball. This is the way a pitcher may be thinking. Then you set up the changeup with the fastball, make sure it's out of the strike zone, let him see some velocity, and then pull the string on this pitch. You don't do it? Okay, do it twice then. Set it up with 2 fastballs. Both those absolutely totally out of the strike zone. First 2 pitches to Burnitz in this at-bat, totally out of the strike zone.
The 2-2, he got a piece of it.
There it was right there, too. It's exactly what he was doing. Pull the string right there and Cliff Floyd out in front just a little bit. This is changeup. Now watch Floyd. See up just a little bit out in front. Paul Wilson paid attention when people talked to him. Not only work hard, he kept his ears open. There's another one. Another off-speed pitch. Good pitching sequence right there by Wilson.
Another very good inning for him. As 3 consecutive innings, he has retired the Mets in order. 5-2 Cincinnati. Paul Wilson, one of 9 pitchers picked by the Mets in the first round of the draft to play in the majors. And find out why WB11's News at 10 is the Emmy winner for Best Single Newscast a 2nd year in a row. Join the team that brings you New York's news tonight, right here on the WB11. Bottom of the 6th coming up here, and it's Barry Larkin in the box facing Feliciano. And the first one in there for strike 1. Wilson, by the way, one of only 3 who later pitched against the Mets. Doc Gooden won his only start against the Mets, pitching for the Yankees in the first game of a day-night 2-stadium doubleheader in July of 2000. And Tim Leary was 0-2 in 5 games against the Mets.
And the Mets have played that 2-stadium doubleheader twice now. And when they did it for the first time, it was the first time in New York that double stadiums were used dating back to 1903.
Larkin retired on a lazy fly ball, one away for Sean Casey.
And remember when they played the game in 1903 at two different stadiums, it was Brooklyn and New York polo grounds, that they didn't have automobiles. They had to do it in horses and carriage.
I think we should go back to that, by the way. I think that ought to be, whenever we have one of those again, between Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium, let's go with the horse-drawn carriage. That's a must for everybody. No trains, no subways, no cars. It'll be a throwback two-stadium doubleheader.
Well, maybe you ought to start at Central Park where they have the horse and carriages.
You're
and
onto something
go
there.
each way, yeah.
Absolutely. You and I should spearhead that, Ralph.
I think we have to do that.
Be careful what you wish for.
Sean Casey knocked one out of the park his last time up back in the fourth inning.
Of course, they did have trolleys back in those days. The Dodgers at one time were called the trolley Dodgers. That's how they got the name Dodgers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They were also called the Robins for Uncle Willie Robin. Robinson was the manager of the team at that time. Of course, the Dodgers were called a lot of things when they moved out of Brooklyn.
Some of them we can't use on the air. Is that correct?
Jose Guillen on deck. Little number toward third. Wigginton on the charge. And there are two gone.
Interesting thing about Sean Casey is that he's over 100 points better batting average against left-handers. That's a little weak ball right there into the third baseman. But against left-handers this year, Casey hitting hitting about 375 and only about 275 against right-handers. You don't see that much of a differential. If you do, that's a big one.
Yeah.
But that's that left field hitter you're talking about. He's got a home run to right today, but he will use the entire field and fight off that inside pitch, hit the ball to left center.
This guy with rather surprising power this year. He's hit 17 home runs. Guillen hit 2 of them in the first game of the series. Facing a lefty here, and he chased a pitch into the dirt.
Feliciano, the off-speed pitch. Either the splitter or the changeup. And Guillen trying to use his 7-iron on that one. It was a one-handed 7-iron as well. That really doesn't work in that game.
Well, for some of us, we like to try that once in a while, not on purpose. Tiger has a little more luck with those creative shots than the rest of us, including Jose Guillen. I did notice in this golf tournament he's playing this weekend, he's using the driver a lot more. Tiger Woods. Foul tipped off the catcher Phillips. 1-2.
Well, he can use anything he wants with his talent.
How far does he hit a 2-iron, bro?
I would say he can hit a 2-iron about 280.
That's unfair.
I played with Freddie Couples one time, and he was hitting a 1-iron about 280 yards.
Yeah.
To a lot of
bother him that you used to outdrive him every time when you were using the 2-iron too.
Right.
Freddie, you better crank it up a little bit if you want to play with the big boys, right?
Right, put it on.
Freddie, your favorite saying of the day was, "You're away, Freddie."
You're away, yeah.
I mean, when you play with guys like that who are so gifted, so talented, it looks so easy on TV. To a lot of baseball fans, so does a major league game. It looks so effortless. That's part of the point.
Part of the point is you don't know really what you're looking at.
That's right.
You don't see the whole picture.
I know when I first came up in the broadcast booth, the game looked easy from up here.
Base is empty, 2 out. Another broken bat popped up to McEwing. But most of that bat went flying into the screen. Almost tore a hole into the screen behind home plate. This baseball bat explodes. It's a 1-2-3 inning. 5-2 Cincinnati.
One sister will turn against another. House of Fear. Charmed. Tonight at 8, only on the WB11.
Anthony Michael Hall joins us live tomorrow on the WB11 Morning News.
A look at the Jeep game summary. Home runs have been the key thing to look at today. Burnett's with number 17. Timo Parra started the game with a solo shot, but Dunn and Casey have each homered today for Cincinnati in this home run park where 120 have been hit, the fourth most in the majors this year. It's the first season for Great America Ballpark. It is 5-2 Cincinnati as we go to the 7th. Ty Wigginton looking for his 7th big fly. Man, they might be 250, 260 by the time this summer is over, because now it's really starting to get hot and the baseball will really carry on the banks of the Ohio. And the Cincinnati pitching staff has a lot to do with that. They give up a lot of them, but Wilson's been excellent today. He's allowed just 3 hits. Line drive caught by Casey, a soft liner. He snatches it, and that's 11 in a row retired by Wilson.
11 in a row since he gave up the home run to Burnett's in the 3rd inning. After that home run, nothing. Everybody take a left turn and head back to the dugout. And he has bounced back from that home run by Burnett's, retiring everybody that walks up there. But you know, part of you said, for a guy, to reiterate too, about Paul Wilson, bad physical problems with his shoulder, elbow, etc., and being able to fight through it and fight his way back to the big leagues. You got to tip your hat to him, and he has done nothing but work to get back. With the Tampa Bay Devil Rays last year, he pitched 193 innings. Well, he is really not even in full strength yet, but he is getting there. Last couple of years with Tampa Bay, you know, cellar dwellers, he comes back and pitches 150 innings, then 190. And taking a good chance here. This might be because of the heat. Todd Van Poppel in the bullpen for the Cincinnati Reds. Last couple of times out, Paul Wilson has pitched 6 innings, 7 innings. The longest he has gone this year is 7 2/3.
Tony Clark lines that one, and a reach and a miss by Larkin. He thought he had it, but a base hit for Tony Clark is first. So that ends that streak of consecutive outs at 11 in a row.
And the ball just hooked away, actually sliced away from Barry Larkin. Larkin playing up the middle. Oh, it's actually hit right at him and then just sliced into left field. Interesting, the Mets down by 3 runs going after the first pitch. Everybody that walks up there.
Sanchez 1 for 2 with a base hit in the 2nd inning. Little pop up on the infield, and oh, what a play there. They get the out. Now they can hit the ground, and they do get the force. Larkin came ranging over. Castro was the man who scooped it up and just backpedaled and stepped on the base. And that retires the side. Five to 2 Cincinnati here.
Hey, baseball fans. Only MLB.com takes you straight from the ballpark to your computer. So don't miss a second of the action. Check out MLB.com, the only place for live baseball online. Get live games with MLB.tv and game day audio. See live stats with MLB.com's unique game day feature. For fans who just can't get enough of the game, MLB.com, the official site for all things baseball, the #1 site for Major League Baseball fans.
Fans, you can be part of the team by joining the Mets Fan Club for Kids, presented by Sports Authority and Newsday. Members receive an ID card, special club cap and t-shirt, birthday card, newsletters, and a lot more. A 1-year membership is just $25. To join, call 201-784-9600 or click on the fan club link at Mets.com and download an application. Your score 5 to 2 Cincinnati. 8 hits for the Reds and 4 for the Mets. We have had 4 home runs hit today, 2 by each side. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Sterling Mets and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Sterling Metz. Kearns on the day is 0 for 2, although he has driven in a run with a ground out back in the 3rd inning, but still in a 4 for 46 tailspin. Aaron Heilman was knocked out after 4 innings. He left the game. He surrendered the home runs to Casey and Dunn. 6 hits, 5 runs. He also walked 3, so his command was not as good as it had been in his previous 2 major league starts. And the Mets have not done a whole lot in the batter's box with former New York pitcher Paul Wilson. Cut on and missed by Kearns. His swings just don't look good, and every time he gets in the box, he has 2 strikes on.
Right here, he waves at this pitch. It's he's totally fooled by the pitch, and it was just sort of go through the emotions.
Strike 3. He'll take a seat.
And they make those types of pitches when you're not hitting well. That was a curveball that broke back over the outside part of the plate.
Did I hear you say earlier in this broadcast that it gets into their head?
Yeah.
Did you see him take that pitch and walk right away like he's totally confused?
Oh, yeah, really
and lost.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was body language of going, what in the world am I doing? That was it. It was a good pitch outside corner and nothing, no reaction. Just, can I get to my car and go home?
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
How can they make that kind of a pitch on me? That's exactly what you think.
Yeah.
How can these things happen to me?
I thought you have that thought when you're really hot and maybe somebody fools you. Backdoor slider or something. Oh, man, you know, I'm killing the ball. This one ripped by Boone to deep right field. Burnitz will have to play it up off the fence. And Boone goes flying into second with a stand-up double. So he gets himself into scoring position. Now, Tom, you love that sound of the broken bat more than any other, but you're not very fond of this sound.
Well, this will bring a little right there, a little flutter to Ralph Kiner's heart, and that's a double to right center hit right on the button by Aaron Boone.
That's the most beautiful sound in the world.
Second most beautiful, Mr. Kiner. Thank you. That's his 16th double of the year. Young man who spent 3 years at the University of Southern California and gets an easy double. He can fly. Boone can. For a big man, third baseman, got a great arm.
In there for a strike on Dunn. Are you on the alumni payroll at USC, by the way?
I'm helping him every chance I get, my man. I'm not personally on the payroll, but I'm building that war chest.
Oh, my goodness.
There's another shatter bat. Play at third. The tag down, and he is out. And safe at first, Dunn. But Boone is cut down. An alert play by Feliciano. Not a good base running play there by Aaron Boone. He is out at third, and they're 2 away.
That's a fine play by Feliciano, bouncing off the mound. That's our Hyundai defensive gem of the ball game. This is really heads up, physically and mentally. Great pitch. Now he caught him out of the corner of his eye. He checked for the runner and saw Boone there. It's actually good aggressive base running by Boone if you catch a pitcher asleep at all. Actually a pretty good play. You'll have a lot of managers that will get mad at you if you make mistakes, but not necessarily with mistakes of aggression when they're trying to be very positive. And Boone, obviously, in that standpoint, that's his dad. And the younger Boone in that situation being very aggressive at third.
Softly hit. Sanchez takes the easy out. Side retired. 1 hit, 1 left. So that's 7 innings into the scorebook. The Reds still lead it here, 5-2.
It's been 30 years since that magical Mets season of 1973. Be with us at Shea when we celebrate their 30th anniversary on Sunday, July 13th. Special guests will be on hand, and the first 40,000 fans will receive a replica of the 1973 yearbook, courtesy of Chase. For tickets, call 718-507-TIXX or log on to Mets.com.
We We check out our Toyota out-of-town scoreboard here, and there's the score on our ball game in Cincinnati, 5-2 the Reds. It has been that way since the 4th. Montreal trying to knock off Atlanta. Florida trying to do the same against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Pirates with a good lead in the 6th inning. Well, the Central Division in the National League is the hot division. St. Louis starting the day leading the Cubs by 1 and Houston by 1, and his Cincinnati team by 4.5. In the American League East, you've got the Yankees and the Red Sox separated by just 2 games now, after Boston scored 10 again yesterday against Clemens and Company at Yankee Stadium. Todd Van Poppel about to make his 2nd appearance out of the bullpen in a Cincinnati Reds uniform. Last year he was with Texas. He was the highest paid mop-up reliever in baseball history last year after signing a 3-year $7.5 million contract. So he relieves Paul Wilson, who pitched really well today. 7 innings, gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. He struck out 5. He was in the strike zone, gave up a couple of home runs, one to Timo Perez, one to Jeremy Burnitz. But the former Met with a chance to defeat the Mets today.
He was very efficient too. 7 innings, 90 pitches that he threw, 55 of them strikes. We talk about the basic fundamentals of the game. First pitch strikes, and he was 17 for 26 in that category. First pitch strikes to the hitters that he faced.
Raul Gonzalez, pinch hitting, drops a single into right field to get started here in the 8th in front of 31,054 in Cincinnati.
Well, Raul comes up with a base hit as a pinch hitter, and Mets have a chance to get back in this ball game. They're trailing by 3. Bottom half of the 8th inning. Then they go back to the top of the order where Timo Perez hit a home run to start the game off and put the Mets on top.
Yeah, in fact, that was the first leadoff home run the Mets have had all year. A look back to inning number 1.
Got a high fastball. Bingo, big high fly ball, and the ball carried very well here today in Cincinnati. Just like that, a couple of pitches and 1-0 Mets.
Foul tip to the catcher's mitt. Good fastball there by Van Poppel.
Timo with that home run, his 2nd of the year.
McEwing up next. So the Mets running out of chances for a comeback bid here today. Wilson had that one stretch after he gave up the home run to Burnitz in the 3rd inning, where the Mets did not get a hit, did not have a base runner until there were 2 out in the 7th. Now, if he does get the win, and it's up to the bullpen from here on out, but if he gets it, he'll be 6-5. The runner goes, and it's fouled away. So the Mets had a play on. Gonzalez running, but Perez knocked it into the stands foul.
It's rather unusual. The runner going when the Mets are trailing by 3 here in the top half of the 8th inning. That they would put a play on. It's very aggressive baseball. You got to have trust.
And you also want the pole over there for the left-hand hitter on the right-hand side of the diamond as well.
Thrown away. Van Poppel tosses that one up against the tarp. It bounces up the right field line, and Gonzalez trots into 2nd. It's a wild throw by the pitcher on the pickoff attempt. That's an error on Van Poppel.
Now, we've talked about this ball club, the Cincinnati Reds, the worst fielding club in the National League. That's their 82nd error of the year. And actually, probably would not have made that play had Gonzalez not taken off last inning. So there goes the double play possibility that the defense would like. Boy, are they awful defensively.
As you mentioned, into the 80s. The Seattle Mariners team that, Tom, you and I saw, we were raving about them when they came into Shea Stadium, and I've seen them a bunch of times this season, and they're on a pace to make 54 errors all year.
There's always statistics that are phenomenal. One of the things is the number of errors, a few errors that the Seattle Mariners have. And the other thing, Seattle Mariners record on the road. It is just absolutely amazing. They are 31-14. Add that up. 31-14 on the road, the Mariners are.
Pretty impressive right there. Of course, the Mets of 2000 had one of the great defensive teams of all time.
Seattle with the best record in baseball at 55-31. Maybe this will be the year. Mariners a couple of years ago, they went 116 and could not go deep into the playoffs. That one stung into center field. That'll drop down for a base hit. Gonzalez is being waved around by Matt Galante. The throw won't get him. So it's an RBI single for Timo Perez. He has driven in 2 runs today. And the Mets are starting to creep back into this one. It's now 5-3.
One thing that Timo did here, Ralph, kept fouling balls off. That were decent pitches until he got something he could drive. Finally got a pitch down the middle of the plate and drove it to center field.
Yeah, he served that ball to center field. I was amazed the throw from center field came all the way home, because the one thing that the Reds don't want to do is allow that runner that got the base hit to go on down to second in scoring position. But Timo didn't take advantage of that high throw.
Here's McEwing. Joe today is 0 for 3. The man on deck is Jeremy Burnitz, who crushed a home run in the 3rd and has driven in 5 runs in the series. So we have a development here in Cincinnati. A hot hitter on deck with a tying run in the batter's box in the 8th inning. And Poppel has hurt himself with a wild throw. He's also allowed 2 hits. As Tom mentioned, it's a very good bullpen. One of the strengths of the Cincinnati club. But Van Poppel has to negotiate the 8th inning. He missed.
Well, maybe Bob Boone wants to find out if he can handle this job. The other guys that he's got in that bullpen have proven what they can do. Brian Reith, Scott Williamson, and they have a deep bullpen down there, and they are good. He has 11 pitchers on his staff right now, Bob Boone does.
McEwing with a little pop-up. Beyond short. Out goes Larkin. In comes Dunn. Dunn will make the catch. And if you're Barry Larkin, that's a Hall of Fame decision. Stay away from Adam Dunn.
240 pounds of 6'6" muscle. When you hear that stomp of the footsteps coming your way, you get out of there.
And I'll bet you can hear it.
Yeah.
Like a thundering herd. So 1 down, and here's the red-hot Jeremy Burnitz. Maybe headed for an all-star date in Chicago. 1 for 3 today with his 17th home run. This is exactly the guy you want in the batter's box here in the 8th inning. If you have to be down 2, it better be Jeremy Burnitz. Didn't chase it. He's looking very comfortable in the batter's box. Cliff Floyd right behind him. A run in. Timo Perez leading at first. He missed again, and now it's 3-0. What do you think? Do you green light him here?
No way.
I don't know. The next guy in the batter's box can take him out, take him deep as well. That's the winning run over there.
He's taking all the way, 3-1.
Well, taking the 3-0 pitch, you want that runner on base if he can, and now 3-1, he should be hitting away. But the one thing you do here is zone the pitch. If it's not where you can hit it out of the ballpark or hit it hard, you take it. You're going to get the same pitch on the next pitch.
Timo runs, and it's ball 4. So now you really have something going on. First and second, 1 down. Cliff Floyd, the batter. Floyd Floyd on the day has walked, struck out, and flied to left. Now Boone has had nothing but right-handers going in his bullpen. So he's going to stick with Van Poppel here, it would appear. Well, wait a minute. Here he comes. Let's see if he makes the call. And he is.
He only has one left-hander down there. Felix Heredia. He's got to go to the right-hander.
That's all he is ready right now. And we'll be back in Cincinnati in a moment.
Just another day with Mike Lowry.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Ain't nobody getting away from me today. It's just raining Chevys, Mike.
From producer Jerry Bruckheimer and director Michael Bay.
We just want to talk. You want to talk? Well, go ahead. They can't hear you because they're still shooting at you.
Bad Boys 2, rated R, in theaters July 18th.
The Mets trying to build a rally here. They have scored a run in the 8th. They trail 5-3. And it's right-hander Scott Williamson, the hard thrower who is about 2 years removed from reconstructive elbow surgery in his own right. And the same situation with Paul Wilson, who started today for the Reds. The former Met pitched very well for 7 innings. But now the game may be in the balance. With runners at first and second, Cliff Floyd steps in. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. Hard thrower here in this righty. Good slider, too. He jams Floyd on a foul for strike 1.
Well, Bob Boone's giving the Mets a chance. I mean, he went to the bullpen to see if Todd Van Poppel could do the job for him. And he let the Mets put a run on the board. Right in the middle of their lineup is coming up. They're big boys, and Burnitz and Cliff Floyd. And that's when his bullpen has been his strength, his established bullpen, and this is one of them right here.
Floyd in his career against Williamson 0 for 2 with 2 walks. So not much to go on. Perez and Burnitz are the runners. Raul Gonzalez started the inning with a base hit. He was advanced into scoring territory on a wild throw and a pickoff by Van Poppel. And he scored on the Perez single. Cliff Floyd now in the hole, nothing at 2.
Good swing right there, just a little bit late. Catcher set up inside. Stinnett. And the ball running away from him. So he was just a tad late on that, Ralph. Just enough.
Yeah, just enough is right.
Floyd, a guy can certainly go the other way into the other alley. He's hit 22 doubles. Topper on the infield. Casey handles that chance. 2 down, and the runners move up to second and third. Certainly not the result Cliff Floyd wanted. Cliff did not hit it hard.
Well, Williamson out of the bullpen. Let's take a look at the pitch sequence of the left-hand hitter. Fastball in. And then that running away fastball outside, and another one sinker outside. Tried to pull it, and a little weak grounder to Sean Casey. 3 pitches, and Floyd is gone, second out of the inning.
The batter will be Ty Wigginton, 0 for 3 on this day.
And the time run at second base, though, that was a productive out in a way.
And the base hit could very well tie it here. There are 2 out. Ty just 2 for 12 in the series. So he's been rather silent. Does he make noise here? High fly ball left center field. Dunn racing back. So is Kearns. Neither will get it, and 2 runs are in. Yeah, that's an awfully noisy double. That has tied the game at 5. Ty Wigginton. RBIs number 39 and 40. And we are starting all over again here in Cincinnati. It's a 5-5 game, and a chance for the sweep is still alive.
Oh, Wigginton continues to play great baseball for the New York Mets. A candidate for Rookie of the Year, and he's adding on to it here. 2 big RBIs to tie the ball game, and now the Mets have the go-ahead run at second base. And the batter is Jason Phillips.
Quite a rally here by the Mets. Swinging a high fly into left field. Dunn heading into the corner and will chase it down. That retires the side. But the Mets strike for 3 big runs. The fans in Cincinnati don't like it too much. Ty Wigginton's loving it, though. Give him 40 runs batted in. His gap shot scores 2. And we're all even at 5 going to the bottom of the 8th. Well, Ty has tied it with a 2-run double. And it's a 5-5 game here in the last half of inning number 8. 5 runs on 9 hits and an error for Cincinnati. 5-7-0 for the New York Mets. A big hit for the rookie.
Well, a couple of RBIs. That's 40 on the year. The fastball right down the middle of the plate, and he takes advantage of it. The one impressive thing about Ty Wigginton, young player, having a terrific season his rookie year, over 300 with runners in scoring position. And Williamson gave him a pitch to hit right down Broadway right there. It was ahead in the count, right down Broadway. And a 2-run double to left center.
Yep, with 2 out. So Serta comes on to do the pitching, facing Castro here. Gonzalez has taken over in left field for Cliff Floyd. Cliff wound up going 0 for 3. Gonzalez coming off the bench, got a key single leading off that 8th inning in a pinch hit capacity, and then went down to second base on that errant toss, the pickoff attempt at first base by Todd Van Poppel.
Key decision in the ball game by Bob Boone, going to the bullpen and bringing Todd Van Poppel in, his newly acquired right-hander.
That went in with a 5-2 lead, and they leave the top of the 8th in a 5-5 tie. So it blew up on Boone this time. So there will be no victory for Paul Wilson. There will be no loss for Aaron Heilman. That's ball 4 to Castro. Not a good start for Serta. Now they're going to bring up a pinch batter.
Well, they had Almeida up there, and they called him back. And it's going to be Reggie Taylor, I believe, coming to the plate.
Reggie Taylor was struck out to end last night's game. Dave Weathers whiffing him. As the Mets won that one after taking game 1 as well, so still have a chance for a 3-game sweep this afternoon.
Well, you get a man with speed. You want to get the runner down to second base, and the likes of Juan Castro get the winning run, or at least the potential winning run, go-ahead run to second base. You're going to turn the lineup, get the runner to second base. Then you got Larkin, Casey, and Guillen. 1, 2, 3 of the lineup.
Taylor showing bunt, so he tipped off his intention, which is exactly why Serta threw over to first base to see what the hitter was going to do. So they'll be bunting here. Larkin on deck. Wigginton charging in from third. That's in there for a strike. Not really a committed effort there by Reggie Taylor.
I think he was fooled by the breaking ball. Looked like a little curveball. He threw it right at him and it froze him. Graham Lloyd and David Weathers in the bullpen for the Mets down in right field.
Did not try to drop down a bunt there. 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out in the bottom of the 8th.
Foley's going to call Taylor down to talk to him. He got the signals from Boone in the dugout. Of course, they went to Foley. Foley, of course, many years working for the New York Mets in their organization. Be careful of Boone putting on some sort of running play here too. A couple things that manager obviously can do: pitch out, get your pitcher to go to first base. Yeah, it's a little cat and mouse going on right here. Who's doing what? And you want to be one step ahead of the manager, your opposing manager, and what's going on.
Again, Wigginton to charge, with Tony Clark holding that runner, Castro. And now Phillips will head out to the mound to discuss this with Serta. Great big gap, too, out in right center field. A huge gap between Timo Perez and Jeremy Burnitz. And if Taylor fools everybody, swings the bat and hits it through there, he's going to be running all day.
The other part of this, he's hitting less than $150 against left-hand hitters, left-hand pitchers, I should say.
Did not offer at it, and it missed low. 2-1. Larkin on deck. Barry Larkin has played 18 seasons for the Reds, the longest tenure with his current team of any major league player. But it popped up, and an effort by Wigginton, but he couldn't quite get it in foul territory. That would have been one of the plays of the year if he makes that catch.
Charging very hard and going actually toward the mound and not over toward the baseline. Watch him again. He gets head just the wrong way and can't get back.
Taylor has not looked very self-assured in the batter's box. He has looked pretty anemic trying to drop down a bunt. He'll be bunting here with 2 strikes. Instead, he floats that one. Here comes Gonzalez to make the catch. Gonzalez was pretty shallow, and it paid off. 1 away. Taylor has to feel about 3 inches tall after that at bat.
Well, did not get the bunt down, didn't do the job. We're in a tie ball game, bottom of the 8th.
No high fives over there.
There's a head in the count as well. Got a head in the count. That's something you can do with a pitch. And Boone, of course, chose not to put any sort of play on other than just the bunt until he got to 2 strikes.
Strike 1 on Larkin.
Of course, the left-handed pitcher somewhat negates what you can do because you're sitting there looking straight at the runner at first base. Big hole on the right side.
Larkin noted for his outstanding bat control.
Big hole over there. Lots of room.
Larkin pretty difficult to double up throughout his career. He's been a terrific base runner, but still has pretty good speed. He's only hit into 5 double plays this year. This game tied up 5-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Low. A ball and a strike. Wheeler and Lloyd warming up in the Met pen.
This is where the cat and mouse game comes in between the hitter and the pitcher. You got the big hole on the right side. 1 out, runner on first base. Well, is the hitter thinking that way? Can I throw the ball on the outside part of the plate? Is the hitter thinking that and looking in? Oh, he's missed just barely on both sides of the plate. That's really the fun part of the game and the fun part of pitching. You can't really throw the ball out over the plate because he can drive it through that hole on the right side. Well, maybe he's looking out there. This did not look real comfortable on that pitch on the inside part of the plate.
Ground ball to the middle. McEwing to Sanchez. 1 on the first double play. Doesn't happen very often, but Larkin is doubled up, and the inning is over. They got that go-ahead man on board, but could not bring him in, and we're still tied going to the 9th. 5-5. Back in Cincinnati, and another good one going. 5-5. We're all tied up. Cincinnati with a 9-7 lead in hits. Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati as the Mets try for a 3-game sweep. And in the 9th, Tony Clark will lead it off in front of 31,054. They've been baking in the sun all day. And strike 1. Brian Reith is the new pitcher. He becomes the 4th man to work on the hill today for Bob Boone. That includes Paul Wilson, who started, went 7, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs, was in line for the win, but the bullpen coughed up what was a 5-2 lead. Clark singled his last trip. He's 1 for 3. Tony's already had a game-winning hit this week He takes low. 2-1. Ray Sanchez on deck. And then Raul Gonzalez was the bottom third against Reith. Outfield playing deep here. That's way outside. 3 balls and 1 strike to count Tony Clark's way.
Well, if the bullpen is the strength of the Cincinnati Reds, they have not shown it so far. Von Poppel was not very good, and nobody out leadoff hitter. 3-1 to Clark.
He tags that one to center field. Kearns backing up, still backing up, backing up. She's gone. A home run for Tony Clark. It just kept carrying and carrying. And in the 9th, the Mets have the lead 6-5. Way over the 404 sign out there. His 10th big fly of the year. How about this comeback today?
Well, we talk about it so much. The count has so much to do with this game. And who has the edge, who has the advantage when you get behind the hitter. And it's been a great comeback so far for the Mets. 4 runs in the last 2 innings. And that's just 3 outs because there's still no outs here in the 9th inning. 3-1 fastball. Big Tony Clark center field. And the center fielder, Austin Kearns, just kind of loped back. I thought that ball might make it over the center field wall. It hit up there off the black top, the black part of the back top, and that was a monster home run. The way that Kearns is going after the ball, I thought he had a chance to catch it. He was loping because he had no chance.
I mean, there must be some sort of a jet stream up there, because when that one got up there, it just kept on rising. And the wind is blowing out in that direction, kind of carrying it out toward left center field. He killed it. 6-5 the Mets here in the 9th. A ball down and in on Sanchez. Slicer, but foul the other way against the Expos on July 1st. So just 5 days ago, Tony Clark had the game-winning hit, and maybe this one will be a game winner. Benitez getting ready in the bullpen now. Not going to be easy. He is due to face Casey, Guillen, and Austin Kearns. Be interesting to see if Kearns hits as badly as he's slumping.
Tony Clark this year, I mean, he is fewer than 140 at-bats, got 10 home runs.
Up the middle, Castro gets to it, slings it over for the out. 1 away in the top of the 9th. And that home run by Tony Clark had some serious life to it. It's almost like it got airborne and it jumped, and then it jumped again.
Yeah. It never seemed to slow down, did it?
No.
Put some leather on, ready.
Like in a jet stream up there.
Here's Raul Gonzalez, only 1 at bat so far today. This is his 2nd, but it was a key hit he had in the 8th inning. And started that 3-run rally against Van Poppel and company. The Mets scored 3 in the 8th. It was kind of one of those slow, lazy comebacks. There's a shot down into the corner, and he's going to be 2 for 2. That bounces against the wall. Gonzalez churning into second base with a double. So 2 really fine at bats for him.
Well, the first pitch that he hit for a single to right field when he pinch hit in the 8th inning was out over the plate. Fastball, and that looked like some sort of hanging breaking ball. Take a look at it again. Yeah, just something mediocre. Little floater on the inner half. So a good day for Raul Gonzalez. Single and a double, and he's only played 2 innings.
No, you never know when you come to the ballpark. You know your name's not going to be in the lineup today if you're Raul Gonzalez, but you have a chance to be one of the heroes. Swinging a line drive foul. Timo Perez, another guy who's had a string of good at bats. He's 2 for 4, but his out in the 3rd inning was hit right on the button. A ground out to second. He singled in a run in that 8th inning. He started the day with a home run off of Paul Wilson.
And he had a great at bat in that 8th inning. You're talking about that RBI single. He kept fighting the ball off, fighting the ball off, fighting the ball off, and got some sort of off-speed pitch and just hit a little single to center. Didn't try to do too much with it. He's a smart little hitter. He knows how to play the game, this kid. A lot of time playing into the Japan leagues.
He waits on Reith. Only one out here. The hits are now even at 9. Ty Wigginton had the big 2-run double that tied the ball game in the 8th inning. That came with 2 out. And then leading off the 9th, Tony Clark with a mammoth home run. And it's 6-5 New York. And that one is tagged too into right center field. That one is headed for the fence. And that one's up against the wall. The run in. Gonzalez scores. What a day for Timo Perez. That's his 3rd hit. An RBI double. A huge insurance run for the Mets. 7-5 New York. And he almost muscled that one out too.
Timo Perez, every time that he gets the ball to hit, he seems to hit it hard. He got a real bad pitch right there from Reith. Take a look at this. Look at this location of this pitch. Right up out over the plate. That's a hanging breaking ball, and hits it off the wall. Missed a home run by, maybe 3 or 4 feet. So the strength of this ball club, talking about the Cincinnati Reds imploding here for Gullett and Boone here in the last 2 innings.
McEwing trying to join the hit parade today. It's 10 hits now for the Mets. He's 0 for 4, including 2 strikeouts. But a base hit makes it 8-5.
What we said in the opening about last 4 out of the 5 games, they've been averaging 4 or 5 games that they've won, averaging about 6 runs per game. Now they got 7 on the board, a 7th spot.
McEwing could not hold up. That's a swing and a miss. Well, if the Mets win this one today, that's 5 wins in their last 6 games. And this recent nice stretch coming on the heels of a 5-game losing streak.
And nice going in to whom they're going to play the next 2 weeks. Yep. There's 15 ball games. Atlanta and Philadelphia back-to-back. The back-to-back again, and then a couple against Montreal. Good time to start playing real well.
Sure is. Atlanta tomorrow night at Shea.
And then we got the Phillies next weekend, correct?
Yes, we do.
Just a couple of those.
On the WB11 next Friday again for us.
Friday and Sunday. Are we on Sunday?
You are indeed. 1 ball and 2 strikes on McEwing. He flies that one to center field, but catchable this time for Kearns. He's in on it. Timo Perez holding at second base, so that's out number 2. Burnett's the hitter. First base is open. And Jay Bell has come to the on-deck area as a pinch hitter. The Mets ahead 7-5. They scored 3 in the 8th and 2 more here in the 9th. And Burnett's as hot as he's going. He's going to be put on right here. So this will be his 2nd walk of the day. He homered again back in the 3rd inning. So the pitch to Bell instead. So it'll be 1st and 2nd for Jay. Armando Benitez getting ready in the bullpen, and it'll be Casey, Guillen, and Kearns, the scheduled hitters against him in the bottom of the 9th. One note of caution. The Reds are one of the best comeback teams, particularly in their last at bat in all of baseball.
I think the Mets have taken a little bit of wind out of their sails today. Coming back with 5 runs in the last couple of innings. In a game where, Paul Wilson was just going through, absolutely going through them, going through the Mets very easily after the home run. We talked about, 9 or 11 outs in a row that he had. And again, go back to this, what we're talking about, we talked about so many times, 90 pitches in the game for Paul Wilson, manager taking the pitcher out, 90 pitches out of the ball game when he is cruising along.
Well, the same thing happened to Traxel last night. He didn't even throw 80 pitches. And because of the heat, he was tired. He came out. The heat has worked, I think, more to the favor of the Mets in this series. Ken Griffey Jr. got dizzy yesterday. A little dehydrated. He hasn't even played the last 2 days of the series. And Wilson leaving today. Into the dirt, blocked by Stinnett. Runners at first and second with 2 out here. Win today, and the Mets sweep. The 1-1 pitch. Line drive caught out of the air by Boone. A fine play that saves at least 1 run and maybe 2. But the Mets also get 2. A mammoth home run by Tony Clark and an RBI double by Timo Perez. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It is 7-5 the Mets. Armando Benitez out of the bullpen now. It is 7-5 the Mets as we go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. He'll face off against Sean Casey, Jose Guillen, Austin Kearns. They're the men set to swing the bat against him. 7 runs, 10 hits for the Mets. Terrific comeback today. 5 runs, 9 hits, and an error for Cincinnati. So the Mets are 3 outs away from their first sweep of the year. Casey homered back in the 4th inning. He's gone 1 for 3, and he takes strike 1. Now for Benitez, if he gets it, this would be his 21st save, and you have to believe he's a serious contender for an all-star spot. I know a lot of fans back at Shea Stadium don't want to hear that. He has certainly had his ups and downs, but this would be 21 saves on July 6. Broken bat. We've had a bunch of those today. You could fill a pickup truck. Out number 1.
Or that is in somebody's kitchen right there. I think you're exactly right, David. Is that, for me, there's 2 guys you got to consider going to, and I don't know when the announcements come out. They come out today or tomorrow, whatever it is. Take a look at this last pitch. You get fastball and had a collapse, could not collapse those arms enough, and a broken bat. Easy play for the first baseman, Tony Clark. To me, there's 2 guys in my mind go to the All-Star game for the Mets. This is one of them, Benitez, and the other one, Jeremy Burnett's.
I'm with you there. Burnett's has certainly played his way into it.
And I think Burnett's more than as most deserving. That would be my vote. You have to have somebody from every team. You know, obviously the Mets last place in their division.
They're going to get 1.
They've got to get 1.
Big swing and a miss. Guillen trying to tee off there. He doubled back in the 3rd.
And the other part about it is if I'm the manager of the National League team, big swing there by Guillen. Think about that Burnett's brings to the All-Star game. If it keeps up this way, you're bringing a real hot bat. I mean, maybe the hottest in the National League.
Sure do. The 0-2. Got him. 2 down. And now Benitez is facing the number 1 hitter in terms of struggling on the Cincinnati roster right now.
Well, this is pretty much good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That's a splitter after a couple of fastballs, and that's what you call not even fair. Ralph was talking about that before in our broadcast. Does that pitcher have the splitter? Yes, they know Benitez does, but that's a good illustration of why hitters will want to know if any young pitcher coming up, they have a good splitter.
So 1 more out to get, and Austin Kearns has been, quite frankly, a very easy out throughout this series. He is 4 for his last 47. You might as well just attack him with fastballs because he's late on just about everything. That's right through there for a strike.
He's been late the whole series, hasn't he? You don't have to be a professional to see that. It's as clear as the nose on your face. Every time you got somebody popping a fastball, he has been late regardless of how hard they throw.
Base is empty, a 2-run lead in the 9th. 1-2. Crowd didn't like that call very much, but it's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 strike away for Benitez.
Borderline?
I think so. Punch to the right side, down to get a Clark, but it's off his glove. And life for Cincinnati. The Reds lead the major leagues with 21 wins in their last at bat, including 9 walk-off wins, 9 wins in extra innings. So Kearns muscles the single.
Yep, it is a single, and rightfully so. Taking a great play right there by Clark to be able to come up with that.
Aaron Boone's had a number of big hits. A lot of home runs, and of his 15 homers on behalf of his dad, 12 of them have come against righties. Another busted bat, just a shard coming off that.
That's a splitter hit right off speed pitch or a breaking ball, one of the two, and they hit it right off the end of that bat. The end of those bats, a lot of them are cupped because they try to move the center of balance and wait. Let's see if it hits the end of the bat. Yeah, it does. Right off the end of the bat, gets into that cup and just splinters it off. Take a listen. I don't think Boone even knew where that piece of wood went.
You taking some of this lumber with you back to the vineyard?
Man alive. No, it's no good.
I'm telling you what, that's by my count no fewer than 8 broken bats.
Oh yeah.
Boone 1 for 4 with a double. A runner at first, the tying run in the batter's box in the ninth. Fly ball. Timo's there, and the Mets have won it, and they have swept the Cincinnati Reds. The final score today, 7-5. Benitez with the save as we give you a look at our GM turning point.
Yeah, comeback victory for the Mets here today, and the big blow, certainly the Wigginton 2-run double in the 8th inning. Real comeback for the New York Mets. He drives in Burnitz, he drives in Timo Perez. Perez had a great day himself, and another real good ball game, good series for the Mets here in Cincinnati.
Clark with a big home run in the 9th. Ty Wigginton tied it with a 2-run double in the 8th. Join us on the W11 for our next Met telecast Friday at 7 o'clock when the Mets play the Philadelphia Phillies. Stay tuned for Summer for Kids coming up next. Thanks for being with us. The Mets win it. They sweep 7-5 the final.